So, welcome everyone to day two of this parenting seminar, which is titled Stressful Parenting to Successful Parenting. Yesterday, we discussed some very important principles of parenting. So, today, we'll discuss the other important principles of parenting. So, one very important principle in parenting is that the husband and wife they should not fight in front of the child. What happens is when the child sees the husband and wife, when the child sees the father and mother fighting or quarreling among themselves, it causes a lot of inner instability in the child. It causes a lot of fear in the child. And what happens is that the child, he's not such a grown up, mature adult that he will communicate to you all that Papa, Mummy, because you all were fighting or quarreling, is causing me instability, is causing me psychological damage. No, the child, his communication skills have not developed so much, especially the younger children. So when they see their parents fighting or quarreling, it gives them a lot of fear in them, and that fear, and when the child grows with such type of fear, it does not do good in terms of parenting or in terms of his having a good personality. Then another point is that this if the child sees the parents fighting, it's not a good examples for the parent to set for the child. It's a very bad example in terms of interpersonal relationships. So again, when the child sees the parents fighting, he gets negative ideas about relationships. And another thing is that when the child sees his parents fighting, what does he learn? He will repeat this when he gets married, when he grows big. Will think it's a normal norm to be fighting among husband and wife, and he'll repeat it again. And that's again not a good sign for his future. Then another important concept in parenting is balancing professional and personal life. This is especially for the fathers. If the mother is also working, it's for them too. So the thing is, see, however busy the father may be, if suppose the mother is a housewife, and the father, say, in the morning he has to take his car and drive to the office, say if he leaves at around 8 in the morning, and by the time he reaches home, maybe anything between 7 or 9 at night. So it's very, very important that the father every day at least takes out 10 to 15 minutes exclusive time to talk to his children. Exclusive. However tired he is, however challenging day he had in office, but when he comes home, he should definitely 10 to 15 minutes exclusively spend the time with the child. And during that time when he's spending with the child, if he has some phone calls coming or some calls coming, he should not pick up unless it's very, very ultra, very, very highly urgent work. And during that 10-15 minutes, he should not see his WhatsApp or nothing. He should really just be with the child, and the child should perceive it that way. Yes, my father, he's really talking to me, he's concerned for me, and he's giving me quality time. Then sometimes, as uh, a family, you could go out, the father, mother, and the children could go out for some ice cream or something, that adds a little more bonding to the relationship, and it adds a little lighter moments. Then this yearly holiday trip, okay, now because of this COVID-19 situation, we don't know when things will become to normalcy or become normal. But the point is, whenever an opportunity comes, spend family time together. Uh, if things become normal, you all could go out, maybe for a day out somewhere, if the medical situation allows that in future. But the point is, take out some exclusive time to spend with the family. Let every member be together and interact with each other. Then another thing is that, say for example, your daughter, she's representing her school for, say, some Bharatnatyam dance performance somewhere in some important auditorium, and she's representing the school, and she's gone on behalf of the school, and she has come back after the performance. She's come back home, and you're still in the office. So what you could do is, just from the office, you ring up home and talk to your daughter that, whatever her name is, Shamli. Shamli, how was that dance performance? How was it, beta? And just talk to her. Just maybe just 1 2 minutes. By doing such things, it shows a lot of positive signals. It creates a lot of positive bonding with your children. Then another thing is, appreciate your child. Very, very, very important. Previously, people would say that there are three necessities of life: roti, kapra, makan. Basically, food, clothing, shelter. But now some psychologists say that, for some people, there are not three, there are four necessities. The fourth is what? Appreciation. Very, very, very important. And now, see, when we talk of appreciation, it should look genuine. Say for bigger children, especially if the child is 10 plus years old, then when you're appreciating, you give him reasons. You give him reasons why you're appreciating. Then it clicks better with the child. For younger children, if you just tell them something very fantastic, you did this drawing very nice, you did this activity very nice, that's good enough. But for the bigger children, better to give them some reason, some logic. Then it settles well with them. And another thing, especially when we are appreciating, do not over exaggerate. For example, you have a small child. He has drawn a car and says, Papa, I have drawn a car, very small. And he's drawn like a box, and he has put two wheels down and two wheels on top. Very small child. And he says, Papa, Papa, I have drawn this car. Just look at this, Papa. Then you see that two wheels are down, two wheels are up. So he's a small child. You tell him, wow, beta, very nice. You have drawn a car, you have drawn the square box like a car, very good. And wheels also, you have put two wheels down, very good, 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 good. And what? But why you put these two wheels on top? Papa, acha. Sorry, Papa, my mistake. I should put those two more wheels off top. I should put it down. I'll make another painting and bring it to you, Papa. This is the way how you should interact. And say the same child, when he has say he has bought the previous drawing, two wheels down, two wheels on top. When he comes to you, don't tell him, wow, such a fantastic car, it looks like a Mercedes. Don't over exaggerate, because they sometimes, children also very sensitive. They can get feelings of genuine appreciation and not genuine appreciation. So be genuine in appreciation. And why the point is, why should we appreciate? It does positive on many many levels. One of the levels it does positive is that it reinforces that type of behavior in the child. Means when you appreciate for a particular activity in the child, that it reinforces, the child wants to do that positive work again in future. Then another point in terms of parenting is that pregnant ladies should not take stress. It's very well known in psychological field, and it's proven psychology that when a pregnant mother, she takes a lot of stress, the chances are that her child will be hyperactive. I'm not saying that to have a hyperactive child is something negative. No, definitely not. But yes, one thing I would like to tell is that if you have a hyperactive child, you will have to put double the effort in terms of parenting. So again, here a lot of responsibility lies with the husbands also. The husband should see that the circumstance at home or the external environment at home is not so stressful. He should try to make his wife comfortable and give her a lot of time and love too. And another thing is that before birth, say if you already have a child and you're pregnant for the second time, so before you have the second delivery, it is better to prepare your first child for it. There's something in psychology, there's something known as sibling rivalry. Sibling rivalry means, say, the first child when he's born, obviously, since being the first child, he's given a lot of love, time, care. So when the second child is born, obviously, the parents, especially the mother's time, gets diverted and she starts giving more time to the second child. So the first child senses this, that, "Arey, First, I would get a lot of time and love and attention of my parents, but now since this small Chintu, this small baby has come, my parents are giving this boy, this small baby, more time, and I'm getting less time. So sometimes the elder brother or sister goes and pinches the smaller kid. It's reported in psychology. This is known as sibling rivalry. So better when the wife is pregnant for the second time, it's better that she talks to her first child and tells this first child, "Ki son, now after some time you'll have either a brother or a sister, and but say if the first child is a son, but son, when you have a small baby brother or sister, and suppose say I'm in the bathroom and papa has gone to office, and if the small your brother or sister is crying, then how to manage? Arey mummy, don't worry, I will be there. I will take care of my younger brother and sister. Don't worry, mummy, don't worry, I'll take care." So like this, slowly, slowly, you mentally shape the mental condition of the first son or daughter. And another thing is that I would like to ask you all, how many of you all have two children at home, and especially boys, and especially if their age between them is, if there's not a big age difference between them, then do they fight once a week or twice a week? Usually, when I ask this question to my audience in my parenting seminars, they say, "Sir, forget once or twice a week. You should ask us in 1 hour how many times they fight sometimes." Yeah, sometimes in a day, they will fight 2, 3 times, 4, 5 times, maybe, but they patch up and make up also. But what happens is sometimes when your children fight, they will come to you, and they'll start, the smaller one or the big one, both will come and say, "Papa, my bhaiya did this or my sister did this," and both will come. Especially if the younger one comes to us, normally we parents sometimes take the side of the younger one since it's the smaller one, and especially the younger one comes and starts crying, "Mummy, papa, 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 bhaiya beat me," and then sometimes we're doing work. "What, bhaiya beat you?" We get up, go to bhaiya and say, "Why did you hit him? Why did you make him cry?" And but the thing is, when you go to the detail of the matter, sometimes it is this Chintu, it is the smaller guy who had actually activated Bhaiya, who had started the whole thing. Huh? So then now you already scolded the elder brother. Now how you make up? So it is very important when children come to you that Bhaiya has beat me, or the younger one has started being aggressive. Better let them solve their own problem. Don't take sides. If you take sides, sometimes you could land up in a little trouble. Don't worry, these children, they fight, quarrel, they make up, fight, quarrel, make up, fight, quarrel. So don't take sides. In a nice, loving way, tell them, "Arey, both of you all are so nice brothers, so nice friends. Sort it out, sort it out, sort it out better. I have some work to do, sort it out." Like that, don't do it, they'll sort it out. Then another thing is that, like yesterday, I was speaking of this example of, say, guests have come to your house, you're busy in the kitchen doing something, the mother is busy in the kitchen doing something, and then she gives 2 glasses of water and tells, "Please go and give it to the guest in the drawing room." And the son, he's taking those glasses, and as he's taking the glasses, as he takes 2 steps, the glass falls and breaks down on the floor. Usually, the first reaction of the mother would be, "You're so careless. You should be more careful." But in such scenario, you can try this next time. If this happens, you surprise the child. Surprise the child in the sense, when the glass drops, tell your son or daughter, "Son, I hope you did not hurt your legs. I hope you did not hurt your foot. Is it okay?" I'm like, "There's nothing wrong. I hope you've not hurt your foot." And then then just pick it up, help him to just clean up thing, and then you can later on tell that, "Beta, actually, no, normally you are very careful. Maybe yes, maybe today when you were taking the glass, you were little not so careful. Next time, be careful." We should do such things. Okay. Another thing in parenting, very, very, very important, that is having patience. Very, very, very important. Say, for example, your small boy who's like 4 years old, he's playing with some toys, and you have a nuclear family. The husband, wife have to go out for some important work, and you're ready to go, but your child is playing that, some block game, and then you tell your son, Rahul, come, we have to go out. But Rahul said, no, no, mommy, no, 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 please, I'm making this block. So we wait for a minute. Okay, Rahul, come, we have to go now. No, no, mommy, give me some time, I want to make this. Now, again, one moment after one moment. Rahul, we have to go, we have to go to reach that shop. That shop will close, come. No, no, mommy, no, no, I'm almost reached the final stage. Wait, wait, wait. So, sometimes when it's school time, when the school bus is going to come, the child, when you go to wake him up, he's sleeping. Mummy, give me 2 minutes, the 2 minutes. You say, okay, he's sleeping. After 2 minutes, go, Rahul, wake up, 2 minutes over. Mummy, one more minute. Like, so much patience you have to have. So it's very, very important that we show this quality of patience in parenting. Normally what happens when we are not so patient in terms of parenting, it causes a lot of disturbance. Sometimes our temperatures may go up and we may say or do things which are not so palatable or which gel well with parenting. When you're talking of patience, in China there's a particular community of farmers. They have a special bamboo seed. When they put the bamboo seed in the ground and they start watering, they water it every day for a month, but nothing grows out of the ground. Then these farmers, they water it for the next 6 months, but still nothing grows out of the ground. These farmers watered for the full year, still nothing grows. Second year also they're watering continuously, but still nothing is growing out of the ground. Third year also, full year they water, nothing grows out of the ground. Fourth year also they water and nothing grows out of the ground. If people like us, we were there, maybe we would say, Ram Ram, we are leaving. But these farmers, they're still continuously watering with patience. And the fifth year, when they start watering, in the beginning of the fifth year, in just 1.5 months, that is around 45 days time, that bamboo seed grows to around 90 feet. I repeat, 90 feet. In just 1.5 months time. So again, yeah, what we could learn from these farmers is the quality of patience. Sometimes when a child, he's doing that, he's doing these things, he's doing some things which drive us crazy at different days, different times of the month, and we feel ki, God, I'm putting my best efforts in terms of parenting. Mr. Sharad has said, give a lot of time, give a lot of love, give good listening. I'm trying all those, but still I don't find much changes, positive changes in my child. Don't worry. Just put on, just keep on doing these positive parenting techniques which I've told you. You may not see some results initially, but a time will come when you'll see a child so well balanced, so mature. You'll wonder, hey, is it the same Rahul who would break people's specs and buttons, and today he's so well balanced. So again, just keep on doing these positive parenting techniques. Have patience. You'll have a very balanced and very productive child. And another thing is, how do we increase this quality of patience in us? This quality of patience is like, for example, someone wants to develop his muscles. He goes and joins the gym. Now, initially, he has to weightlift little smaller weights, and then after some times he moves on, his muscles are a little more developed. Now he can lift more stronger weights, and after his muscles become more developed, he can lift more heavier weights. In the same way, if you want to develop this quality of patience, as an austerity, keep on practicing it. Sometimes when you see your child and when you feel I'm going to fume or get angry, just as an austerity, as a tapasya, just control yourself, calm yourself. Just practice tolerance. By such tolerance practice, you'll increase your level of patience. Okay. There's a new concept in parenting which has come out in the last few years. That is, choose option which will do least damage. Meaning, for example, say when a child he has done when a child is having some behavioral problems or some area where some improvement has to be got about, then when you see a deviant behavior in a child, you may have 5 options in front of you. But all those 5 options, you may have only 5 options, but all those 5 options will not be a wholesome solution. Normally, when there's a problem, we want to deal in such a way that that problem gets eliminated in a positive way. But sometimes in parenting, whatever options you have in terms of parenting, they may not be eliminating the problem at all. There's some circumstances like that. Now, whatever options you have, they'll be all damaging options. So sometimes in among those five damaging options, you may have to choose an option which will do least damage. And we as parents will have to be settled with that. We have to be mentally prepared for that also. Okay. Another thing is children 1 to 4 years get diverted very, very easily. I'll give you some tips. Like for example, if you have a child who's 3 years old, huh, and let's take that same example which previously I was speaking of. When the wife and the husband both have to go out of the house, and they have the son who's 3 years old, and the 3 year old is playing with some blocks, and the father tells the child, "Come, let's go. We have some work outside." The son says, "No, no, Papa, let me make these blocks." Then again you wait for a minute, and again second time you tell your son, "Rahul, already 1 minute over. Come, let's go." "No, no, Papa, let me complete this." Then again after another minute you tell Rahul, "Rahul, already I've given enough time. Let's go." "No, no, Papa, this block I've never reached to this level. Just give me some more time. Let me complete it." Now you're looking at your watch. You know that you have to go and meet someone, and that person, he will not wait after particular time, beyond a particular time. So you understand that if I don't leave now, then the person will leave. So in such scenario, what you could do is, after one or two nice way you've told Rahul that come, and you've given him time, but still he's not yet agreed. So the third time what you do is, your 3 year old child, you just pick him up, you tell, "Arey Rahul, there's a very nice big butterfly with yellow wings. Come, I'll show you. It has big round red circles on it. Come, I'll show you." You pick up Rahul, you go outside the door, lock the door, and tell Rahul, "Arey Rahul, I think that butterfly has gone down. Let us go down." You take him in Godi and run down. You tell Rahul, "That butterfly, it may have gone ahead. Taxi, taxi, wait." You get in the taxi, yourself, your wife, and Rahul get in taxi, and you go ahead. Tell Rahul, "I think, let us see in the front of the road, it's gone or what?" "Rahul, looks like that butterfly has gone away." "Rahul, next time that butterfly comes, I'll immediately show you." By now, Rahul has calmed down. He has forgotten about his toy also. Huh? So this is a technique. You could use it if a child is between 1 to 4 years of age. But if your child is, 7 or 8 years, please don't use this technique of butterfly. Otherwise, he will start showing you butterflies. And another thing, this technique also, in a month, maybe you could use it 2 times or 3 times. Don't just use it too often, because if you start using it too often, then the child, even though he's small, he will understand. Now mommy and papa will tell a yellow butterfly, sometimes they tell red butterfly, sometimes they say pink butterfly. So children are also a little smart. So maybe 2 or 3 times in a month you could use this technique. This technique will work wonders. Okay. Another thing is, help child to solve own problems. Normally what happens is, see, we normally, if suppose a child, I'll give an example. Say your child is around 6 years old, and you have given him a new pencil, and he has gone to school, and some child has broken his pencil, that new pencil. And when your child comes in the afternoon at home, as he enters the house, he starts crying, "Oh, mommy, 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 my pencil got broken. My benchmate, he broke the pencil." Then immediately we go in advising mode. "Acha, your benchmate broke the pencil. You should inform the teacher. We normally start going in advising mode. Now, better we train our children to solve their own problems, because when your child is in school, when he's doing the break hours or something, you're not there to always support him and care for him in every angle. The child has to learn to take care of his own self. The child has to learn to take care of his own problems. So we as parents have to help him to train him so that he can take care of his own problems. Now let's take the same example, your son Rahul. Okay, now you had given him a new pencil in the morning. His benchmate has broken the pencil, and he has come home crying, "Mommy, mommy, my pencil is broken. My pencil is broken." So when the child comes first, just make him sit down, put a hand around his shoulder, around his head, and just rub it, give him love, and just hear him nicely. Oh, mummy, Rahul broke my pencil. Rahul broke my pencil. Acha, Rahul, your benchmate broke your pencil. Oh, mummy, yeah, mummy. Acha, Rahul is saying, mummy, my benchmate is so big, strong. I could not fight with him also, mummy. Oh, my pencil broken. My pencil broken. So you hear him, and then you help Rahul to solve his own problem. You tell Rahul, Acha, Rahul, your benchmate broke your pencil. Oh, mommy, my benchmate broke my pencil. Uh, so Rahul, what did you do? Mommy, what I could do, I could not fight with him. He's so big, strong. Oh, my pencil broken, my pencil broken. So you tell Rahul, Acha, Rahul, your class teacher was there in the class? Yes, mommy, the class teacher was there. Ah, mommy, next time if this benchmate breaks my pencil, I will go and complain to the teacher. The teacher will punish. Now see here, you did not give him the full answer. You just helped your son Rahul to come out with his own answer, to come out with his own solution. So we as parents also, we should, whenever such opportunities are there, we should help the child to come out with his own solution to solve his own problems. And another thing is that, say when a child is doing something which is not an accepted behavior, or something which is not okay acceptable, then normally we say don't do that. We just give this instruction, that's it. Like for example, in a supermarket, you've gone with your son in a supermarket. Your son again is around 5 years old. uh, okay, and you're walking with a trolley, and your son Rahul, he's running everywhere. Rahul, running here, there, here, there. Children are energy bubbles, like I mentioned yesterday. So Rahul is running here, there, here, there, here, there. So you're scared that he may just bump into some other gentleman or auntie, and may uh, hurt them, and both will be hurt. So sometimes in such situations we tell Rahul, don't run. Do you think he's a military disciplined person that he'll say, okay, mummy, I will not run? If you tell Rahul not to run, probably he'll run more faster and run more. So the thing is, suppose you want to tell him not to do something, give him options. Instead of that, what else he can do? Let's take the same scenario. So you find Rahul running everywhere in the supermarket. You tell Rahul, please come here. You are running everywhere. I'm a little concerned for you. There are many ladies and gentlemen walking around. You could bump into them. Both of you could get hurt. So do one thing. Instead of running around, you do one thing. See, I have this trolley. I have to buy a lot of things like paste, soap, and other things. So you have two options with you, Rahul. Either you sit on my trolley and be like the main driver and tell me, mommy, go straight, go left, go right. You want to be the driver of my cart? Or if you want, you could come with me, and you tell me, ki, mommy, uh, which paste to buy, which biscuit to buy. What will you prefer, Rahul? Mommy, I will become your driver. Pick up Rahul, put him in your cart, and start going. So better when you give options, you'll be more successful in dealing with the children. Okay, have dinner together and make it fun, joyful. See, try to have meals together as a family. It's quite understandable, and as far as possible. See, the lunch you may not be able to have it because the father is usually in the office. So if possible, at least the breakfast and dinner, try to have all the family members together. Hmm. If not breakfast because of some circumstances, at least dinner have together. Because when you have meals together, it's a very nice time to connect better with each other, to build on our relationships. And another nice tip I would like to give you all: say, if when you're having dinner, say for example, the father, he doesn't know much about cricket. Yeah, another thing I would say, during dinner time, try to talk with your child on topics which he has interest in. When you talk to a child on topics which he has interest in, he will start talking, and your both of your connection level will go to very good heights. Let's take an example. Say your child, he again, let's say take the name of Rahul. He likes to play cricket, and he keeps on watching cricket matches, and he keeps a tab of what's happening in the cricket world. But you as a father don't have much idea. You never played cricket in your childhood, and you don't have much idea of what's happening in the cricket, but you know that my son Rahul, loves cricket. So in the office, just in 1 minute, just Google what is happening in the cricket world. When you Google, you understand, okay, tomorrow is semi-finals World Cup match against India and England. Okay, just 1 minute, you took out that information, fine. Then that night, when you're having dinner, your wife, Rahul, and yourself having dinner. And while having dinner, say Rahul, you tell Rahul, I've heard that tomorrow is World Cup semi-finals cricket match. Yes, Papa. Arey, Papa, how do you know that? Arey, Papa. And Rahul, the matches between India and England. Arey, Papa, you know that also. Arey, Papa, you know, I feel India is going to win. So you feel India is going to win? Yeah, the Indian captain Virat Kohli, he's in form, na? Yes, Papa. Arey, Virat Kohli, Papa. The last two matches he made 100. Papa, you want to take a bet with me? Tomorrow, at least tomorrow Virat Kohli will definitely make at least 50 months. Take bet, Papa. Now you just see, you're just 1 minute of Googling in your office. As you know, you see the bonding which your child is talking with you. You see the type of bonding you're developing. Huh? So just these are simple tips which help in better bonding with the child. And another thing is that when we are at the dining table, when we are having meals together, please avoid one thing, that is controversial topics. Normally, what happens is, sometimes parents make this mistake while having dinner. Like, for example, say if in the afternoon Rahul has come and he's got a bad remark in his calendar, for some bad activity, he's got a bad remark in his calendar, and the mother comes to know. And when the father comes in the evening, the mother immediately tells Rahul has got a bad remark in his calendar today. So when this family is eating, and the best favorite pizza mummy has made for Rahul, and Rahul is eating his pizza, eating his pizza. Then father also just joins, and father starts eating his pizza, and the father in the middle tells Rahul, today and see, Rahul is eating his pizza. Rahul, I heard you got a bad remark today. Rahul's pizza will stop there only. He'll put it down. He'll put his head down also. He'll wonder, So, see, there's a place for everything. Even though your wife has briefed you up that Rahul has got a remark, let Rahul enjoy the pizza. You as a father also enjoy the pizza. And after the dinner is over, after Rahul has washed his hand, then tell Rahul, I would like to talk to you something. Can we go in a room? Take Rahul into your room, make him sit down. You also sit down, and then tell Rahul, I've heard you got a remark in your calendar. Can you tell me the whole thing about it? So this is the way you hear it, and whatever inputs you have to give, and settle in a nice way. So try to avoid controversial issues while having meals. Okay, screen time. This picture looks very familiar, I think, to most parents. uh, anyway, just now, because of the coronavirus situation, we have to be little lenient in terms of screen time with our children. Obviously, for the reason because there are lockdowns, children can't go out and play. So, because of this exceptional situation, we have to be a little more liberal with our children in terms of screen time. But in future, when things return little to normal, and then that time we have to be a little careful also regarding the screen time of our children. Normally, now how does this addiction to the screen time, or being on the mobile, YouTube and WhatsApp and chatting for many hours, how did it start? uh, Actually, a lot of times we parents are to blame sometimes, or maybe a lot of times also. How did it start? Say when our children are small itself. Now, I've seen it personally with my eyes. You as parents also must have seen it. Maybe some of us have made this mistake also. Say your child is just 3 years old, and you want to do something, and you're feeding the child, but the child is moving here there, and at the same time you want to do something, and the child is not taking the feed. So you open some cartoon in your mobile, put in front of the child, and the child is seeing the cartoon and eating. So, and then you are free to do some work, and the child just seeing the cartoon and eating. And then like this, initially it starts with maybe few minutes for a day, then the child gets used to it, then those time duration increases, and when it grows big, it becomes like more time spent, and he becomes a little hooked to that. So we there are some tips which I will give you all, which will help in this area. One point is that we as parents have to show controlled use ourselves. Very, very important. Say in the house, if most of the time we ourselves are a lot of times on the mobile, WhatsApp, chatting, a lot of times in that, then that sends wrong signals to the children also. They learn, like yesterday I mentioned to I mentioned that the children, they learn a lot of things by observing us. So one of the points is that we ourselves have to show controlled use. And then we as family, all of us, we have to make one rule that no using mobiles during meals. That also through a joint decision, like yesterday I mentioned to you all that if you want to take a decision in which your child is involved, you discuss with keeping the child also involved in the decision making. So do this exercise, get the child involved in the decision making, and make a decision involving the child that no family member will use his mobile or any digital appliance while having meals. That's very important, because again, like I mentioned, meals time are bonding times. So again, if we are eating and we are seeing mobile, checking WhatsApp and all that, it's a little bit impersonal way. Our bonding is not done so positively. Then, if parents are using, for example, if parents are using some, they're using the laptop or WhatsApp or something, they're using their digital appliance. And if your small child comes and says, Papa, Papa, what happened today in school? Then again, when the child has come with that excitement and with that wanting to share feelings, we should just put our mobile aside, turn towards him, talk to him, right? Listen what he has to say. So when the child sees these things, he understands, yes, I am first in my life of my parents. The digital and all this mobiles, they keep aside when they want to talk to me. Then avoid TV and computer in child's bedroom if this is possible. If this is possible, especially if your children are little small. Say if your children are in adolescent or in the grown up, you can't do much at that time. They may want the laptop and they may sleep. They will sleep with the mobile and they'll get up with the mobile. So if your children are small or middle age, try to see if possible to not have any digital appliance in that room. That helps to some extent. Then parents to spend physical playtime with child. Again, we have to, like yesterday I mentioned, in parenting you have to put work. We have to work. Uh, if you want to be successful in parenting, you have to give time and put effort also. So in the same way, if the more we play physical games with the child is diverted from all these digital appliances. And then another point is that we should fix screen time with child involved in decision making. Say again, sit with the child and through a discussion, zero on a particular time. How much time the child should be using his digital appliances? Whatever the time it could be, half an hour, 45 minutes, or 1 hour, whatever. But this decision should be taken with involving the child in the decision making process. And then, if suppose from when the child was young itself, if you inculcated habits like drawing, art and craft, swimming, all these activities, extracurricular activities, if you involve in the child when the child is was young, then the child develops interest in these areas, and there are chances that he will not overshoot extra time for digital appliances. No? But again, the earlier you start in the child, the better the result will be. Okay, give children happy experiences. See, now we take this example as adults also. If an adult, he is very satisfied in his job, in his office, and is very satisfied at home also, then such people are, the chances are that such people will be very well balanced in their outlook in life, in their personality also, and they'll be a sought out person. Everyone will want association of such people. So same thing with the child. Give children happy experience. Obviously there'll be at times when we have to be firm in terms of the studies or using electronic gadgets, but overall the child, he should be a happy child, because when you give happy experience to the child, he grows with positivity, and the chances he'll be a very well balanced person in his adulthood. Okay, there's this quote: good upbringing of children may take effort and cause headaches, but bad upbringing will cause heartaches. So we have to choose out of which we want. Huh? So again, the point is we have to put effort. The earlier we start putting effort, the better it is. Okay, so like I'd mentioned yesterday, that today we'll be covering this topic about how to handle adolescence. So in my course of the last 20 years, I've met so many parents. They come to me, sir, handling adolescence is really very challenging. So I sometimes really I'm on my knees. I don't know what to do sometimes. So um, once what happened is, in a store, in a bookstore, uh, mother, she went to the parenting section, and in the parenting section in the bookstore, she was looking for books on how to handle adolescence. So she was looking for books how to handle adolescence, but she could not find any book in that section. So she went at the counter to the bookstore official person, and she told the bookstore person that, sir, I'm trying to look for books on how to handle adolescence. I'm looking in the parenting section. I can't find it. Can you help me? So this bookstore person said, madam, do one thing. Please go in the horror section side. You'll find something there. uh, the point is, sometimes really handling adolescence could be very challenging. But don't worry. In the next few minutes, we'll be discussing on some tips, and hopefully those tips will help you to connect and deal better with your adolescence. Okay, the WHO defines the adolescence age from age 10 to age 19. Okay, now the thing is, I know of a case where two adolescents, they were sitting together. And one of the adolescents, his phone rang, his mobile rang, tring tring, and both were sitting close by. So the first friend, when his phone rang, the second friend, he also looked at the first friend's phone, and the number was displaying and the name was displaying Hell, Hell. So the second friend asked his first friend, you've saved this number as Hell, from where is it, where is the call from? So the first friend says, this call is from my home. Where is this call from? This call is from my home. And it's a true story. The first friend, he had saved his home number as Hell. Now why this? The thing is, sometimes we as parents are not able to understand the age group of adolescents. We are not able to understand this age group of adults, so what they go through, how to deal with them. And because of that, usually because of that, sometimes we as parents, when our children were small, they would obey us, they would listen to our advice. And when the children start growing up and they become adolescents, these things don't happen. They want to be more independent, they don't want to listen to us much, they don't want to take our more advice. And then we get angry. You would listen to me first, now you're not listening to me. What happened to you? What you think, you've grown very big? All these bad interactions happen. And sometimes, the adolescent, he feels, God, my home is like hell. Sometimes he feels that way. So today we'll discuss on this area in more detail. In the newspaper, once this clip had come, abortion among under 13 under 15 in city soars 144% in last 3 years. Then in another news clipping, it said sexuality among Indian urban schools adolescents, average age of first sexual contact for boys is 13.72 years, and for girls, this article mentions is 14.09 age. Now these, I'm just sharing with you the information and the details of this age group. Again, in the newspapers it had come, these are some of the famous newspapers in India: rise in depression among youngsters in the city. Then as per the National Crime Records Bureau, every day in India, on an average, 24 students are committing suicide, mostly adolescents. And imagine hundreds and hundreds are going under depression, adolescents. Hundreds and hundreds of the adolescents are going for psychiatric care, psychiatric counseling. So why I'm showing about these clips and these statements is that we have to understand this adolescent age group. That age group itself, it's a very dynamic, a very volatile age group. The circumstances also are quite challenging. So we have to understand this age group, that they themselves are going through a turmoil themselves. We'll discuss some characteristics of this adolescent age group. It's a stormy age. Tufani, God, adolescents are real stormy. It's a stormy age. Then what happens in this age group? The fading of depending on parents. The Basically, when the child was small, they were depending on parents for many activities and in many areas. But as they become big and grown up, these adolescents, they don't want to be dependent on the parents much in many areas. Obviously, sometimes for finance they have to depend, but other areas on social functions or going out and all, they don't want to be depending more. They want to take more individual decisions. Then another characteristic of this adolescent age group is that the critical analysis in them, it grows. Basically, it develops. They have this critical analysis. So sometimes they may be just critical of some things which are going on at home, or so sometimes that could put parents off. But we have to understand that is a particular characteristics of this age group, that they will be more critical at times. And also we have to understand that the adolescent are going through major hormonal changes and sexual development. And sometimes because of these hormones, they will behave a little differently. Sometimes adolescents, they may want to sleep extra. This is because of their hormonal changes. They want to be little sleeping extra, and sometimes we as parents say, hey, you're becoming very lazy, why you're sleeping so much, get up. There could be a clash there. So we have to understand that they are also going through hormonal changes. And another thing, another characteristics of this age group is that they want independent. This adolescent, they want to be more independent. They don't want much interference of parents in their life. And the adolescent, another characteristic is that they're very sensitive about their bodily appearance, about the way they dress, about how they look. So they may little work extra on it. So we parents have to be understanding on that front. And they want to have formation of their own identity. And one thing very important is peer acceptance and peer pressure. At this age, basically the adolescent, they want to be part of different groups in the colleges, in the society. They want to be accepted in that group. And sometimes the groups, they may take a decision as a group. Okay, tomorrow all of us will go to this area for picnic or for having food together. And your adolescence, he will be a part of that. And he'll want to go with that group. So a lot of peer pressures are there. So we have to understand this. Then lesser importance to opinion of parents or elders. Previously, when the children were small, whatever opinion or you gave, they would take that little seriously, and they would behave on that. But when the adolescents are grown up, they give lesser importance to the opinion of parents and elders. And another thing is, another characteristic of the adolescent age group is that they are very unpredictable at times, very very unpredictable. Sometimes these adolescents, they will do something which will not appeal to you in a logical way. You'll wonder, hey, why is my son doing such a thing? Why is my daughter doing this? It will not appeal to you logically at all. But you have to understand, this is one of the characteristics of this age group, that they will be very unpredictable at times. They will do some things which will have no reason or logic. So we as parents have to understand that yes, this is one of the characteristics of this age group, and we have to bear with it. We have to just live with it at times. And we should understand that adolescents, like I mentioned to you, they are themselves, they're going through such challenges. We have to understand that our adolescents are going through a stormy phase themselves. We have to help them. And like I told you, like for adolescents, there's a lot of pressures. There's peer pressure. They're going through hormonal changes. Sometimes there's study pressure also. Like for the adolescent age group, they are preparing for the engineering entrance test, the medical entrance test, MB entrance test. There's a lot of extra studies they have to go, extra coaching classes they have to attend. So there's pressure from that point of view also. So imagine they're going through hormonal changes, peer pressures are there, they are stormy age, very sometimes peer pressures, there's so many, all these things are there. So we have to understand, yes, that they themselves are going through a storm. We should be there to help them cope up with this storm. So provide right environment, freedom, privacy, monitoring, and guidance. We have to provide this to them whenever there's a need for it. As adolescents, we acted in damaging ways. How can we expect them to be much different? I will not ask you parents that when we were, I'm also included, sorry, I'm also included in that. Uh, I will not ask all of yours and myself also that what we did when we were adolescents. When we were youngsters in colleges, what did we do, what activities we do, what we talked about, it'll be quite embarrassing. हम लोग भी तूफान मचाए थे. We also acted in very very unlogical, unpredictable ways, and we had clashes with our parents, and we did a lot of maybe nonsense activities, a lot of uh, you know not acceptable things. uh, when we did such things, can we expect our children not to do it? I'm like, it's not being a little fair. Obviously, we as parents should try to give them right guidance, right everything, so that they are a little well balanced in their approach in life. But that young age, that adolescent age group, the characteristics that they want to be adventurous, they want to explore things, and sometimes they may do some very different things and activities, which we when we were young, which we did, and today we'll be objecting to our youngsters. So we have to be a little mature and understanding in dealing with our adolescents. Like I will give you I will give an example. This is a true story. There was a 13-year girl, and after a month, there was in one of the with the cousins, there was a social function. There was a family social function, and one of the cousins was involved in that. So they had to go to this cousin's place. It was a very big social function. So this family who had to go to for the social function, the mother once went and got a very nice dress for her 13-year daughter. They got a very nice dress. So after a month, when the social function was going to happen in the evening, so before the social function, the mother got dressed, the father got dressed, and the mother told her 13-year daughter uh, that a month back I bought you that dress. Please go and wear that dress. Okay, mommy, I'll go and wear that dress. Then after some time, the daughter comes out of her room, but she's not wearing that dress which the mother had bought a month back. She's wearing another dress which was also looking decent and which was acceptable for a social function. When the mother saw this, when the mother saw her daughter wearing another dress, mother said, say for example, the daughter's name was Shamli. Mother says, Shamli, go and wear that dress which I bought for you a month back. No, mommy, that dress, when I tried it, is a little tight on my waist, it's a little uncomfortable, so I did not wear it. I will not wear that, mommy. No, 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 go and wear that dress. No, mommy, I will not wear the dress. No, 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 you go wear it. I spent a lot of money for that. Go and wear that dress. No, mommy, I will not wear the dress. I spent so much time in buying that dress. I had some other work, but I canceled that work and spent so much time just for you. Go and wear that dress. No, mommy, I'll not wear dress. You're back answering? I've told you, you don't want to obey me, you don't want to listen to me. I'm telling you, go and wear that dress. We're getting late. No, mommy, I will not wear the dress. This is the way you talk to your mother? This is the way you talk to your mother? Go and wear that dress. No, mommy, I will not wear that dress. Then the mummy gets angry. The mummy says, uh, "It would have been better if I had. It would have been better if I did not have you as my daughter." She literally said this statement that it would be better if I did not have you as my daughter. You're such much, being retaliating and all that. And when the daughter heard this, she started crying. She went inside her room. She banged the door, closed the door from inside, and started crying. And she did not go for that social function. This is a true story. This 13-year adolescent girl. Now, Let us little analyze this whole story. Now, what had happened is, fine, we understand that the mother had spent a lot of time, money in getting that dress. But at the same time, the mother was not so sensitive. The mother should have been a little sensitive. Sensitive to that, which point? When the daughter told her mother the first time that, Mummy, I tried that dress on, but that dress was a little tight on my waist and it was a little uncomfortable. That's why I did not wear the dress. And at the same time, she wore another dress which was also acceptable for a social function. So the mother here, she looked at it from her own point of view. I spent a lot of time in getting that dress. I spent a lot of money for that dress, but she was not sensitive to look things from the viewpoint of her daughter. And the viewpoint of her daughter was that that dress at the present moment, because in the 1 month she may have added a little weight and it was a little tight and a little uncomfortable, that dress. So the mother should have been a little sensitive and she should have also seen things from her point of view. If she had understood that and she was a little sensitive, maybe I'm like this the whole family would have gone in a nice way for the social function, enjoyed, and would have come better home. So we, as sometimes as parents, are not so sensitive. Sometimes we don't look things from the viewpoint of a adolescent. And then the adolescents need love, appreciation, and encouragement more often than advice. We parents, sometimes we are a little conditioned to always giving advice and tips. We are used to, because the child was small, and uh, every time we kept on giving advice and opinion. But then we have, when adolescence, he's reached, when our children have reached that adolescent stage, we have to understand that better to help them take their own decisions, and if required, give them inputs. Okay, some points to keep in mind. With love and appreciation infuse self-discipline. This age group of adolescents, if you want to use force to discipline them, I'm sorry to say there are very, very good chances you will fail. There are different ways to get cooperation from this age group, like we discussed. Uh, so with love and appreciation, we should try to infuse self-discipline. Then if you see the conflict areas with the adolescent, sometimes they're very simple and very small things. The small things, sometimes it boomerangs into such big fights and big quarrels, and it disturbs our relations for many days. Uh, Sometimes, just conflict areas. Which are the conflict areas? Simple issues like choice of clothes, phone, time, healthy food, delay in completion of tasks, quarrel with siblings, etc. Small issues. But sometimes small issues we clash. Parents and the adults both clash, and sometimes small issues. So we have to be careful and a little mature as parents. Then talk when they are in sober mind. Say if your adolescent, you want to talk something about to him, or you want to talk to him and you want to give him some advice. So better is that you don't directly give him advice. You make it in a conversation way. You make it a little more interactive, a little more conversation in an interactive way. Take his opinion, share your opinion. In that way, you can help him to have a different mindset. But don't try to order him or directly give him some direct advice. And usually, if you want to talk to your children who are in the adolescent group, when they're in a sober mind, when they've had some nice meal, suppose your child's favorite, Rahul is now adolescent, and his favorite was pizza. After you have fed him nice pizza and he's satisfied, give him some ice cream also, and then talk to him. Okay, this adolescent group, they openly express as they openly express of family gatherings as boring. Sometimes, Abhi, now since the coronavirus thing is there, we don't know the future, how it will be, the socializing, the marriages. We really don't know how things will shape in that direction. But usually, in any social gathering or something, the adolescents a lot of times try to avoid it. They are not so comfortable. Uh, so we have to be sensitive to this aspect also. So sometimes we should agree that if a child is not coming for the social function, so we should have a balanced approach. We should tell our children, okay, that sometimes you come, sometimes you don't come, no problem. And another thing, please do not talk negative about their friends, because like I mentioned, the adolescents, sometimes his group, his peer group or his circle of friends, they treat as very, very strong. And so if you try to talk negative of them as parents, they may again, it may lead to a very big clash with them. Then adolescents understand at home. Okay, now the thing is, if with the adolescents we are not very careful in dealings with them, and if there are a lot of clashes which are happening at home, and a lot of negative at home, then sometimes this adolescents, they may just leave home and go and marry something, in a very different way, or they just may leave home and do some activities or do something which could be very damaging for them also and damaging to the family also. So again, we have to deal with our adolescent in a very mature way. I would like to tell you a story in this regard, in how to deal with adolescence. Uh, it was the night time, and it was in the ocean. In the night time, in the ocean, a big military ship was sailing. It had big torpedoes, bombs, missiles on it. And when it was sailing in the night, from across there was another light, another vessel. Both were coming on the same, both were on the same route. So the captain of the big military ship sends a signal to this small vessel and tells, "You see, I'm a very big military ship. You're on my you're on my route, so you please move out from my route." So a reply comes from the small vessel that, "Sir, I will not move from your route." So the captain of the big ship says, "Hare, what does the small vessel thinks of himself?" The captain again sends a second signal to the small vessel that, "You are on my route, you're on my path, so you move out from my path." Again, a reply comes from the small vessel, "Sir, I will not move out from your path." So now they're quite close. So the captain of the military ship, now he knows he has only last warning to give. So the captain of the military ship, he sends a signal to the small vessel and tells that, "See, I'm a big military ship and I have big torpedoes, missiles. If you don't move out of my path, I will destroy you with my missiles." So immediately a reply comes from the other side, "Ki, Sir, I cannot move from your path because I am the lighthouse." What does the answer come from the small vessel? That, "Sir, I cannot move from your path because I am the lighthouse." So when the big ship captain hears this message, the big ship turns its path away and takes another path. Now, why am I telling this story? The thing is, why I'm telling the story is that if if the military ship captain was very stubborn about himself, about his path, they would both have clashed, and there would have been explosion, and both the sides would have been destroyed. Now, what happens in when we are dealing with the adolescents? Huh? Sometimes there could be chances of quarrel, there could be chances of clashes, but we, since being the mature person as parents, we have to be understanding. So sometimes we as parents, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, sometimes as parents we may have to move away from that path. Sometimes as parents we have to take a little detour, we have to take a sideline, we have to take a side approach in order to avoid the clash. Okay, another thing is, ask if an improvement in parent side. Like, for example, I have two children, both are boys. One is around 20 years age, another is 17 years. Two boys. You can imagine the type of dynamics, the type of challenges, and I enjoyed those parenting. I enjoyed parenting my children. Now, uh, through at different times, I've spoke to my children, especially when they're in the adolescent age. I speak at times with them and I tell them, "Ki, son, do you want myself and your mother to improve in some way, in some areas when we are dealing with you?" Huh? We ask our children that, do you want us to improve in our behavior with you, or improve in the way we deal with you in any way? Please tell us. And believe me, we are serious. We are not just doing lip movement. We mean business. We are serious that if my son tells me, "Yes, Papa, you get usually angry at this or whatever," if he had some advice, if it was little logical, I would try to implement it. But so far, my parents have said, "No, Papa, Mummy, you're doing good." They've told us that, "No, no need to change, you're doing good." So, but yes, if they had asked for a change and if appealed and it was a little reasonable, believe me, my wife and we would have changed ourselves. Then adolescents need a caring adult. Now, there's a true example. I know of a case where the student, he was in the 11th standard, and he had a very nice rapport with a teacher in his school. And because he had such nice rapport, now what happens is sometimes the adolescent, he may not share all his problems or share everything with his parents. It depends on what type of connectivity or what type of relationship you have bonded with your children. But a lot of times the child may not want to share the full problem or share the problem with his parents. So as parents, it is very important that we try to see that some mature person is very closely connected or has very good relation with our adolescent child. Because now, because this sir had very good relation with this child who was in the 11th standard, this child did not open up to his parents. He was having some problem, but he opened and shared his heart with the teacher, and a good solution came out, and a big disaster was avoided. So in the same way, we as parents, when we have an adolescent, we should try to, it may be in a family, it may be in a society, it may be in the school, at least try to see that there's one mature adult who has very good, who has very good relationship with the adolescent. Sometimes we may, this particular adult who may be from the community or from the society or from our friends or from the school, we should invite this adult to our home for lunch, for different functions, and so through like this the bonding becomes better. So at least we should try to see that at least there's one adult with whom our adolescence is very well connected and has very good relationship, in terms of that he can share his heart with. Then issue with returning home on time. A lot of times, the adolescents, he will tell, okay, mommy, papa, I'm going out, I will come back at 9 at night. So we say, okay, beta, come at 9. It's 9 o'clock, 9:30, 9:40, still your adolescent not come, his phone is not reachable, he has also not rung up. When he comes at 9:50, we fume at him, he fumes at us, there's a big clash. So better, say if the son is going out or something, you tell him, beta, what time are you expected? If he says 9, tell him that, okay, beta, in case if there's some delay, please inform us, ring us up or text us that there may be a delay of another 20 minutes or 25 minutes. Keep us informed. By doing this, we can avoid unpalatable behavior. Be connected with your adolescent. Very, very important. We should do all activities. We should modulate behavior in such a way that so that the connection between adolescent and us keep on becoming better and better and better. Okay, now what happens is sometimes we are doing a lot of good parenting, also we are using good parenting techniques also dealing with the adolescent, but still sometimes we don't find very big good positive changes in an adolescent. We may be using good parenting techniques and trying to give them love time, trying to be understanding them in a mature way, trying to be listening to them nicely, trying to be well connected, but still sometimes we find that we don't find much changes in adolescent, and sometimes still we find the behavior is still a little rude or not so acceptable. But don't worry, I will I can tell you that if you just keep on doing whatever positive parenting techniques which we have discussed yesterday and today, and be a little patient, believe me, when these adolescents who are showing tufani, who are showing all stormy issues and stormy behavior, just be using parenting proper positive parenting techniques, be patient with them, just do all these things which we have spoken of in the last 2 days. When this adolescence grows big, believe me, he will have very, very high regards for you as parents. He will consider you parents as the ultimate hero. I'm not exaggerating. In regarding this, I would like to read to you a poem. How a son thinks of his daddy at different ages. I repeat, how a son thinks of his daddy at different ages. At 4 years, my daddy is great. At 6 years, my daddy knows everybody. At 10 years, my daddy is good but is short tempered. At 12 years, my daddy was very nice to me when I was young. At 14 years, my daddy is getting fault finding. At 16 years, my daddy is not in line with the current times. At 18 years, My daddy is becoming increasingly cranky. At 20 years, oh, it's becoming difficult to tolerate daddy. I wonder how mother puts up with my daddy. At 22 years, daddy is objecting to everything. Now he's married. At 30 years, it's becoming difficult to manage my son. I was so scared of my father when I was young. Now he's had his own son now. At 40 years, daddy brought me up with so much discipline. Even I should do the same. At 45 years, I am baffled as to how my daddy brought us up. At 50 years, my daddy faced so many hardships to bring us up. I am unable to manage a single son. At 55 years, my daddy was so far-sighted and planned so many things for us. He is one of his kind and unique. At 60 years, my daddy is great. Thus, it took 56 years to complete the cycle and come back to the first stage. So don't worry. Sometimes the your adolescent children, when they talk in the peer group, sometimes the children say, my daddy and mummy, थोड़ा screw ढीला हो गया है, थोड़ा cranky है. I don't know when they will understand. They may talk all this among the friends, but don't worry. Just do good parenting things. Have time, give them love time. When they grow big, they will salute you. In dealing with adolescents, we listen half, understand quarter, think zero, react double. Sometimes adolescents come to want to speak to us. Before they complete, we in the middle start talking. In one sense, we as parents are being little unfair to them at times. Adolescence is to be nurtured and not tortured. Okay, now another thing is, see, in this 2 days, yesterday 1.5 hour we spoke, today around 1 hour 15 minutes we have spoke, in another 15 minutes we'll be ending it. There's so much to be spoken on this subject of parenting, but how much can we cover in these 2 days? So my advice is that please, I would advise you that please get some books on parenting. Please read them. Definitely, when you read these books, it will help you go to understand this subject more in detail, and you'll understand some things better, and it will help you connect better with your child. And another thing, see, we are human beings. After hearing these 2 days and after hearing all these things on parenting, sometimes we may slip. Sometimes again we may do wrong parenting things. But don't worry. When you do something wrong in terms of parenting, again pick yourself up, and again start working on the right parenting techniques. So don't get discouraged. Sometimes if you, as human beings, sometimes you may get angry, or you may do some wrong parenting activity or parenting thing. So don't worry about that. But the most important is pick up, rectify yourself, again come back on the right path of parenting. As parents, our job is to take care of what is possible and trust God with the impossible. We can do our part as human beings, and then rest leave to the Lord. Mother Teresa had made this very nice statement. Many people are dying because of hunger of stomach, but more people are dying because of hunger of heart. It is very, very important. When in my parenting seminars, I tell the parents that, please, whichever religion you may be, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Zoroastrian, whatever religion, please help your child to come closer to God. Help your child to develop more love for God. Help him to become more spiritual, because it's psychologically proven also that to the degree a person is very spiritual, to that degree he's less disturbed, to that degree he's more balanced in life, and to that degree he has less stress in life. So Mother Teresa mentioned that so many people are dying because of hunger of stomach, but more people are dying because of hunger of heart. Make your child strong from within. Make your child strong from within. And Stephen Covey also, who was one of the most famous motivational, individuals. He has written many books. He also says that if a person wants to be successful anywhere, whether work, home, for anywhere, one important component is spirituality. If he has this component of spirituality, that will help him to be success in whichever field he wants to have success in. There's a very nice slide. If A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, D equals 4, then hard work, when you add up all that, that hard work adds up to 98%. And knowledge, when you add that up, it adds up to 96%. And attitude, when you add that, it adds up to 100%. All these are very important in life for any success in any work. But let us see another slide. Let us see. Now let's look how far the love of God will take us. Love of God. When you add up, it adds up to 101%. Therefore, one can conclude with mathematical certainty that while hard work and knowledge will get you close, and attitude will get you there, is the love of God that will put you above everything. Now, I will towards the end. I will end towards the end. I would like to tell you a story where, say, the story brings out that when you put positive parenting techniques and at the same time you infuse spirituality, love of God, when you combine both, you can bring out a miracle in your child. This is a true story. The story is about a child known as Wilma Rudolph. Wilma Rudolph is from USA, from United States of America. When she was a child, she had an accident where she damaged, where her legs were badly damaged. So her legs were so damaged that she could not walk properly. And the best doctors that time told Wilma Rudolph and her parents that in future she'll not be able to walk properly. So some doctors told her to do some exercises and some, like that. So Wilma Rudolph would always try to, do as per the doctor's advice, do those exercises and everything. And she would be on bed and wheelchair, and she was a small girl. So Wilma Rudolph told her mother one day that, "Mummy, when I grow big, I want to be the fastest runner on planet Earth." So mother was, she had knowledge of good parenting skills, and she had good parenting knowledge. So she told Wilma that, sorry, the mother told Wilma that, don't worry, have faith in the Almighty Lord, pray to Him. He can do miracles. At the same time, you try all these exercises. So the mother was very loving to her daughter, and so Wilma Rudolph would almost very, very often keep on praying to the Almighty Lord, and at the same time try her exercises. Then one day, Wilma Rudolph told her mother that, "Mummy, I would like to go to school." So then she would go to school every day on the wheelchair, and now she could just manage to take some few steps, with a lot of difficulty. So the annual sports day was coming in school. So the class teacher asked in the class which students would want to take part in the annual race. So some students raised their hand. So Wilma also raised a hand. So other students started laughing. She can hardly walk. What she will run? But the teacher noted her name down. And obviously, when this race began, she came very, very badly last. But her mother would always be encouraging her with positive parenting techniques and loving words, and a lot of love and time she would be handling Wilma. And Wilma would also be praying to the Lord always for help. Then again, second year, the sports day came. Again, the class teacher asked which students want to take part. Again, Wilma Rudolph, she was having difficulty in walking. Wilma again raised her hand. Again, students started laughing. Last year's experience was not enough. She's going to, again come, why she wants to take part. The teacher wrote down her name. Again, when the race began, again, Wilma Rudolph came very, very badly last. Then, when Wilma Rudolph grew up in the 1960 Olympics, Wilma Rudolph took part and she won 3 gold medals in the running race. This is a true story. I repeat, in the 1960 Olympics, Wilma Rudolph took part in it and she won 3 gold medals for the running race. So this story proves that when we combine positive parenting techniques and we combine spirituality, love of God, when you combine both, you can bring out a miracle in your child. Okay, so we are towards the end of this second day session. Uh, if some of you want, I have a Facebook page, and on the Facebook, from time to time, I keep on posting different parenting quotes, just maybe one line or two liners, and I've got positive feedback from many parents that it helps them. So if you want, you could send me a friend request on this Facebook, and then we could become friends, and whatever posting which I do would automatically come in your Facebook. So if you want, you could note this Facebook details and send me a Facebook friend request. It's www.facebook.com/Sharad Motivational. So, like these 2 days, like the topic for this parenting seminar for these 2 days was stressful parenting to successful parenting. So, whatever these 2 days we discussed, I can assure you, if we try to implement these principles which we spoke of, definitely you'll see a different child in a much positive way. You'll get more cooperation from a child, and your parenting will be very successful. So I thank all the audience for being with us for these 2 days. Thank you.